So at this point, we all know that RGB gives us 10 extra FPS in every game and also helps us aim better. So in today's video, we have a bunch of RGB gaming cases or PC cabinets from Gamdias. This is their Argus E2 Elite, this is their Apollo E2 Elite, and this is their Athena E1 Elite. And there are also the non-elite version of these cases, but those are just smaller cases. These are the bigger versions of those cases, so if you're confused between that. And in today's video, we'll be taking a look at these cases, and let me tell you, 3 of these are really similar, right? And the only difference is the RGB implementation and the design towards the front. So I'll take you guys over the RGB implementation, and we'll also talk about the similarities and differences between these cases and if you should buy them, because these cases are really budget friendly. They come in under 5,000 rupees. The Argus E2 Elite is about 3,200, so is the Athena E1. It also retails for around 3,000 to 3,200 rupees. And the Apollo E2 Elite comes in at around 4,000 rupees. So you can buy them offline as well as online, and you can also get them globally. So in today's video, let's talk about them. So starting off, as I mentioned earlier, all these cases are basically the same case, but with a different type of RGB lighting towards the front and a different design towards the front as well. Otherwise, the functionality, the features, the placements, the mounting options, and everything else remains the same. So let's just take a look at the different RGB effects, and then I'll talk to you guys about what are the similarities and differences, and also which case I recommend you guys get, which one is my favorite from the 3. So the Argus E2 Elite has this plastic LED strip towards the front. So the plastic covering is for diffusing the LED, and behind that is the LED strip. And all these 3 cases have this really cool feature where you have a button to change the color and the effect of the RGB light. You can also turn it off completely. And all these cases also have a 5-volt ARGB sync feature. So if you connect the cable to your motherboard's ARGB header, you should be able to customize the lighting and play around with the effects in your respective motherboard ecosystem. MSI's Mystic Light, Asus Aura Sync, RGB Fusion from Gigabyte, and ASRock's Polychrome Sync. And this button I think is really handy. This lets you just go through all the colors and effects, and if you wanted to completely turn off, you could do that as well. So it's available in all the cases. It changes the color here. I personally like this case a lot. The Apollo E2 Elite comes with a tempered glass side panel as well as a tempered glass front panel, and these are 200 mm fans. These are 200 mm ARGB fans. All these cases are ARGB, so don't worry about that. But personally, this is my favorite implementation of the RGB. It looks really premium, and the fans don't really make that much noise. Just having huge fans towards the front looks really nice, and the effects and the RGB looks the best on this case in my opinion. The Athena E1 Elite has this plastic covering towards the front, as well as you've got the 120 mm fan, and there's a metallic airflow mesh here which will increase airflow, let in cool air into the case. Same, pressing that RGB button changes the effects. Alright, so we spoke about the RGB implementation on these 3 cases. Now let's talk about them and all the similarities. And as I mentioned earlier, these 3 cases are basically the same case, just the design at the front and the RGB implementation is different. So let's first talk about the I/O and the ports that you get on each of these cases. So you have a power button, you have the reset switch, you also have the LED button, the 2 USB 2.0 ports, the microphone and headphone jack, and a USB 3.0, and this is similar for all the 3 cases. So with the Athena E1 Elite, the Apollo E2 Elite, and with the Argus E2 Elite, they're all same ports. And another similar feature will be the magnetic dust filter, which is also on all the 3 cases. So this is the exhaust part of the case, so that's where the air is coming out, and there's a dust filter, although it doesn't really make sense to have a dust filter on an exhaust, but it's there and it's magnetic, should keep away some of the dust and stuff. And the Apollo E2 Elite is a slightly taller case. Other than that, everything else remains the same. Now talking about another difference of the Apollo E2 Elite, it has this swing door system for the tempered glass side panel, whereas the other 2 cases have a normal 4-screw mounting system. Now this is actually very common, but this is having a risk of breaking your glass. Like, you're always at a risk of breaking your tempered glass. Whereas with the Apollo E2 Elite, the higher price, more expensive case, you have this swing door system with a magnetic lock. And having that swing door system means that you are not really worried about breaking the glass. So that's that. And let's actually open up a case from the back, just so you guys can have a look at how it is. All the three cases will be the same from the back as well. So just the normal 2 screws for your back plate, and that should come out. So you have a SSD mount here, which is again present on all the three cases. Opening if you want to mount your liquid coolers and stuff like that, which is good. And the build quality here is actually pretty decent. And the things where they compromise is on the top, like there's a little bit of flex on the top sheet where the magnetic dust filter is. And this back cover of the case is also pretty decent. Like for the price, I can really not complain. They've got a decent build quality. You also have a hard drive tray right here. So you can have 2 hard drives and 1 SSD and 2 SSDs towards the front. You have all your basic cables and stuff like your front panel, USB, HD audio, and the USB 3.0. And to power and sync the RGB, you need this SATA connector and the RGB header. So that's also present here. And they give you a bunch of cable ties, a few screws and standoffs, so you can get started with your build. And that's the back of the case. Coming to the rear, here you have a really cool feature. Again, you have a triple slot vertical mount. Now, vertical mount cases are usually really expensive, and for like under 5,000 rupees, this case offering this triple slot vertical mount is actually really good. Now, I don't really suggest you do a high-end build or something like that in this one. I only recommend these cases for Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5 CPUs or i3 and i5 CPUs, medium TDP CPUs that don't produce a lot of heat. And you should be fine with an air cooler or a decent liquid cooler. This build will run fine, but I don't recommend this for Ryzen 7s, Ryzen 9s, i7s and i9s. Those CPUs have a lot of heat generation when you're putting them under load. So that's that. But just having this feature is pretty handy. You have your ATX power supply, your 7 expansion slots, your rear exhaust, and the IO shield, which is pretty similar in all these cases. Now let's talk about the placements and the insides of the case. Again, as I said, really easy to open this up. Towards the front, you can have a 360mm radiator or 3 120mm fans. You can also have a ITX, a mini ITX, a micro ATX, or a full-size ATX board. And all these three cases have this PSU shroud. You can also mount fans over here. So 2 fans over here for the bottom. That might be helpful in your graphics cards cooling. A cutout as well to show off the power supply's branding. And this is also of pretty decent quality in my opinion. And the motherboard sheet is also pretty decent. Towards the top, you can have a 240mm radiator or 2 140mm fans. And towards the back, you already have a pre-installed fan that's non-RGB, and this is 120mm as well. But that's pretty much it when you talk about the Argus E2 Elite, the Apollo E2 Elite, and the Athena E1 Elite. Those are all the features, the functionalities that you would get, and also the 3 different flavors of RGB implementation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video was helpful. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button as well as subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. The links will be in the description down below so you guys can learn more about these cases, also buy them, and buying from those links does help the channel out. So do so if you want to. And with that being said, my name has been Yusuf. You guys have been awesome. Stay awesome, keep smiling, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.